All right, we are headed up to Kerr Lake in North Carolina for the 4th North Carolina BFL. This is only the second one I've fished. We're going to fish 2 of the regular season events and the super tournament to hopefully get near that top 60 and make the BFL regional on Lake Murray, which is right here by home. As far as what Kerr's doing right now, that big college tournament was just there, and the water level's pretty low too, and it sounds like there's not a whole lot of shallow fishing going on. I know every time I've ever been there, it's like shad spawn, there's fish in the bushes, you're throwing a spinnerbait, you're flipping them. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll see when we start fishing it tomorrow. We're going to drive up there tonight, got everything rigged, just going to kind of wait for traffic to die down and get there late tonight, get a couple hours of sleep, and go fishing. So we'll see how it goes.
Number 5. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Stay in there, buddy. Nice and See, he was wanting to come out there. Did you see me shut him out? Yeah. That's your biggest one right there. Now I'm gonna. Got him.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah.
Next up's going to be Lucas Murphy from West Columbia, South Carolina, trying to get to Lake Murray, buddy. Got 5 in the bag. Good day. 5, it's going to weigh 16 pounds, 2 ounces, new leader, and got that Phoenix shirt on, so that could be additional money if you're signed up for the MLF 5 bonus program. So we'll see if that works out for you, and hopefully it will. Good job. Stephen.
All right, that's a wrap on the Kerr Lake tournament. Ended up finishing 3rd, which is way better than expected. You know, we got up there late last night and were able to have a good tournament and get those points we needed for the Lake Murray Regional, which was the most important. You know, it didn't take long, just kind of running down the lake and looking at the bank. And I don't have a ton of history on Kerr Lake, but I've now fished it 3 years in a row, kind of in this April-May time frame. And I'm really used to, you know, the water levels being, you know, up in the bushes, the trees and stuff like that. There's a lot of flooded cover. And I looked at the water level, but sometimes, you know, I don't know the lake well enough to just know what a 299 water level means. But as you ran down the lake, it was evident that there were not going to be a whole lot of shallow fish caught. So a lot of those fish were just holding on the first piece of structure, you know, outside of some of those pockets and on those points, whereas I'm sure if the water was up, they would have been up in the bushes, but when there's no water up there, they just slide out and sit on the first hard piece of structure. Some were rock, some were stumps, some were brush piles. Some of them were, I think, just like hard spots, like gravel spots and stuff on some of those points. And, you know, and they were ready to bite. So, you know, when the water's low like that, I think the college tournament that was just a few days before me kind of showed that, you know, when the water's that low, not many places for them to go. And, you know, maybe the weights are a little bit better. It was kind of like that on Murray a few years ago when the water was real low. The weights were crazy because it just condenses down those fish and I think makes them easier to catch. But moved up from like somewhere in the hundreds to 10 points. But we moved up from somewhere in the hundreds to just 10 spots outside of that 60 cut line for the regional. So there's a pretty good point differential, but I'm hoping that when we go up to Lake Norman, which will be in the fall, that either A, 10 people above me don't show up to fish that tournament, or we're able to have a really good tournament and maybe jump some people and get near that 60, and maybe get near that 60th place mark in points to slide into the BFL regional on Lake Murray. It's in October. Not ecstatic about that time of year on Lake Murray, but we'll take it, you know, having it be my home lake and at least knowing a good bit about it. So the next video is probably going to be a Lake Murray tournament video. I'm going to jump in a little local tournament this weekend and brave the waves and see how that goes.